The penthouse smells like money and fear. Mark Grayson floats outside the floor-to-ceiling windows of Machine Head's office, 40 stories above the city. Below, traffic moves like blood cells through concrete arteries. Up here, the air is thin and cold. His breath fogs the glass. "You ready?" Titan's voice crackles through the comm in Mark's ear. Mark touches down on the marble balcony. Ready as I'll ever be. He's been invincible for 2 months now. Long enough to stop a falling plane, short enough that his ribs still remember what broken feels like. The suit, yellow and blue, his mom's design fits better than it did a month ago. He's growing into it, growing into this. Titan phases through the wall ahead of him, dark armor gleaming under recessed lighting. The big man moves surprisingly quiet for someone his size. Machine Head sits behind a desk carved from a single piece of obsidian. He's exactly what Mark expected. Expensive suit, slicked back hair, the kind of smile that costs extra. What Mark didn't expect is the calmness. No panic, no surprise. "Invincible," Machine Head says, like he's greeting an old friend. And Titan. "Right on time." Mark's hands curl into fists. "We're shutting you down, Machine Head. The trafficking, the weapons deals, all of it ends tonight." Machine Head touches something under his desk. A holographic display erupts between them. Probability trees, branching futures, all collapsing into a single point. "You see, I have this wonderful device. Quantum probability chip. Cost me $40 million. It told me you'd be here. Told me exactly when." The air behind Machine Head ripples. A man appears, no materializes, wearing a white suit that glows with residual teleportation energy. Isotope. Mark recognizes him from Cecil's briefings. Teleporter for hire. Dangerous, but manageable. "I took precautions," Machine Head continues. "Standing now. Hired some security. Kursk. A wall of muscle and tactical gear, bio-enhancements glowing beneath his skin. Furnace, wreathed in flames that lick the ceiling without burning it. Magmaniac, stone and lava, heat radiating off him in waves. Tether tyrant, crackling with electricity, the air around him alive with static. Mark's heartbeat picks up. 5 on 2. Bad odds, but he's fought worse. Then the sixth figure appears. He's shorter than Mark expected, maybe 6 feet. Humanoid but wrong, covered in tawny fur, face somewhere between lion and man, muscles coiled like steel cables beneath the pelt. He wears minimal armor, leather straps across his chest, bracers on his forearms. In his right hand he holds a mace, simple iron stained dark. Battle Beast. The name hits Mark like cold water. Cecil's file flashes through his mind. Unknown origin, unknown allegiance. Fought 12 coalition warriors simultaneously. All 12 required hospitalization. Battle Beast walked away without a scratch. "I don't want to hurt anyone," Mark says, but his voice sounds younger than he means it to. Battle Beast's eyes, golden, predatory, lock onto Mark. The Lion Man's nostrils flare. He's smelling something. "You," Battle Beast says. His voice is a growl wrapped in gravel. "You have Viltrumite blood." Mark doesn't answer. Doesn't need to. Battle Beast's mouth curves into something that might be a smile, might be a threat. Finally, something interesting. Everything happens at once. Kursk charges Titan. Furnace and Magmaniac converge on Mark. Tether Tyrant fills the air with electric nets. Mark dodges left. Magmaniac's fist craters the marble where he stood. Pivots right. Furnace's flames wash over his back, hot enough to make his suit smoke. He grabs Magmaniac's arm, uses the momentum to swing the stone giant into Furnace. They collide with the sound of a foundry explosion. He's holding his own. He can do this. Then Battle Beast moves. 1 second, the Lion Man is 10 feet away. The next, his mace catches Mark in the ribs. The impact doesn't just hurt, it rewrites Mark's understanding of pain. His ribs don't crack. They shatter, the air leaves his lungs so fast his vision whites out. He flies backward, crashes through Machine Head's desk, through the obsidian, through the wall beyond. Mark tumbles across carpet, tastes copper, tries to breathe and can't. His smart atoms are already working, knitting bone, but the damage is catastrophic. His body struggles to prioritize what to heal first. Battle Beast walks through the hole in the wall. Not rushing, savoring. "Get up," Battle Beast says. "I want to see what you can do." His legs shake. Blood runs down his chin. He bit his tongue on impact. I don't want to fight you. I know. Battle Beast advances. That's disappointing. Mark tries to fly, to escape, to regroup. Battle Beast's hand closes on his ankle mid-flight, slams him into the floor hard enough to crack the foundation. Once, twice, 3 times, Mark's nose breaks. His jaw dislocates. His vision swims with red. He punches back, desperation more than strategy, and feels his knuckles split against Battle Beast's face. It's like hitting concrete. But Battle Beast's head snaps back. A thin line of blood appears on the Lion Man's lip. Battle Beast pauses, touches the blood, looks at it with something like wonder. Yes, he breathes. You can hurt me. Not much, but some. The mace comes down again. Mark gets his arms up, blocks it, feels both his forearms fracture. Battle Beast's follow-up strike, a backhand, sends Mark spinning into a support pillar. The building groans. Across the penthouse, Titan is holding his own against Kursk, but the others are converging. They're going to lose. Mark knows it. Knows he needs to get up, needs to help, needs to... Battle Beast grabs him by the throat, lifts him off the ground. Mark's vision tunnels. He claws at Battle Beast's arm, draws blood, the Lion Man's blood mixing with his own where his knuckles split open. You could be worthy, Battle Beast says quietly, almost gently. If you survive, if you grow stronger, come find me then. He raises the mace for a killing blow. Glass shatters. GDA reinforcements pour through the windows. Tactical teams with heavy weapons. Backup Cecil scrambled when the fight went sideways. Battle Beast drops Mark, turns to face them. Mark hits the ground, curls around his broken ribs. His hands are slick with blood. His, Battle Beast's, impossible to tell which. He watches through dimming vision as Battle Beast engages the GDA forces. Agents fire sonic weapons, plasma rounds, everything designed to stop superhuman threats. Battle Beast moves through them like water, each strike precise, efficient. He's not trying to kill them, just teaching them the cost of interfering. 30 seconds. That's all it takes. Battle Beast stands among the wreckage, breathing steady, not even winded. He looks at the broken agents. At Mark, barely conscious. At Machine Head, cowering behind an overturned desk. Beneath me, Battle Beast declares. His voice carries disgust, disappointment. All of you. Beneath me, Isotope materializes beside him. They vanish together, teleportation light swallowing them both. Mark lies in spreading crimson. His smart atoms work frantically, healing, adapting, evolving to handle the trauma. But something else is happening. Where Battle Beast's blood mixed with his, where it seeped into his open wounds. His atoms are doing what they're designed to do. They're adapting, learning. But Mark's half-human genetics create an unexpected response. Instead of simply resisting the foreign contamination, his atoms misidentify Battle Beast's DNA as a superior combat adaptation, an upgrade rather than a threat. In the cellular darkness, something foreign takes root. Eve arrives. Mark hears her voice, feels her hands on his face, but can't focus. The world swims. Cecil's helicopter circles outside, searchlights cutting through smoke. Hang on, Eve says. She's crying. He's never heard her cry before. Please hang on. Mark tries to answer, but the darkness takes him. 3 weeks later, Mark opens his eyes. White ceiling. Antiseptic smell. The steady beep of monitors. GDA medical facility. He knows it by the lack of windows, the reinforced walls designed to hold Viltrumites. Cecil stands near the door, speaking quietly with Donald Ferguson. Eve sits in a chair beside the bed, head down asleep. Both turn when Mark stirs. Hey, Eve says, jerking awake. Her smile is relief and exhaustion. Welcome back. Mark tries to sit up. His body responds perfectly. No pain, no stiffness. His smart atoms have done their job. Better than their job. He feels strong, stronger than before. How long? His voice sounds rough. 22 days, Cecil answers, approaching the bed. Your injuries were extensive, normally would have taken months to heal, even with Viltrumite physiology. You did it in 3 weeks. Mark looks at his hands, flexes them, remembers the blood, the mixing Battle Beast's disappointed expression. Battle Beast, did you... Gone, Cecil says flatly. Teleported out. Could be anywhere in the galaxy by now. Eve moves closer, takes Mark's hand, Her heartbeat thrums against his palm. He can feel it, each pulse distinct. When did his senses get this sharp? We were so worried, Eve says. Mark wants to feel something. Gratitude, relief, love. He searches for it, finds it waiting right where it should be. I'm okay, really. While you were unconscious, we took some precautions. We've been monitoring your cellular activity, the interaction between your Viltrumite smart atoms and whatever battle beast's biology introduced. There are some concerning developments. Your healing accelerated dramatically. Your sensory acuity increased, but there are also neurological changes we don't fully understand. Cecil pauses. As a safety measure, we've prepared a failsafe. If you're ever compromised or if these changes prove dangerous, we have countermeasures ready. Mark should feel violated, angry. Instead, he just feels aware. What kind of countermeasures? We'll discuss the details when you're fully recovered. For now, just know we're monitoring the situation closely. Eve squeezes his hand. The important thing is you're okay. You're back. Yeah, Mark nods. He should be relieved, should feel joy at surviving. Instead, there's just emptiness. Not sad, not anything. Just aware of his own existence. Can I go home? Tomorrow, Cecil says, one more night of observation, standard protocol. They leave together, Cecil giving final instructions to the medical staff, Eve promising to come back in the morning. The door hisses shut. Mark is alone. He gets out of bed, walks to the small reinforced window. His legs feel perfect. His balance is flawless. Every movement is precise, economical. He looks at his reflection in the glass. The same face looks back. Same brown hair. Same brown eyes. But something behind them has shifted. Mark remembers Battle Beast's expression. The hunger, the disappointment, the absolute certainty that violence was the only thing worth pursuing. He touches his chest where the mace hit. No scar, no mark. But deeper, in the architecture of his cells, something has changed. A hunger curls in his stomach, not for food, for something else, something he doesn't have a name for yet. Outside, night has fallen. The city sprawls below, full of people living their small, fragile lives. Mark watches them, and a thought crosses his mind. Unbidden, unwelcome, undeniable. They're all so weak. He pulls back from the window, disturbed. That's not him. That's not how he thinks. He cares about people. He's a hero. He saves them. But the thought doesn't leave, and in the depths of his genetic code, Battle Beast's legacy continues its work, rewriting what it means to be Mark Grayson. One cell at a time. The Grayson house smells like pancakes and normalcy. Mark sits at the kitchen table, fork in hand, staring at the stack his mother made. Blueberries, butter melting into golden pools, maple syrup waiting in the bottle, his favorite. Has been since he was 8. He takes a bite, chews, swallows, tastes nothing. How are they? Debbie asks from the stove. She's trying too hard. Mark can hear it in her voice, that forced brightness she uses when she's worried. I added a little vanilla this time. Your grandmother's recipe. They're great, Mom. The words come automatically. He takes another bite to prove it. Debbie sits across from him, coffee mug between her hands. She's not drinking it, just holding it, watching him with eyes that catalog every movement. You seem quiet. The GDA cleared you. You're feeling okay. Yeah, all healed up. Mark forces a smile. It feels wrong on his face, like wearing someone else's clothes. Nolan's chair sits empty. He's been gone for 3 weeks. Viltrumite business, he'd said before leaving. Debbie doesn't ask where anymore. Mark used to wonder. Now he finds he doesn't care. His leg bounces under the table. Fingers drum against his thigh. Energy coils in his muscles, demanding release. He needs to move. Needs to do something other than sit here pretending breakfast matters. Mark, honey, you're shaking the table. He stops. Hadn't noticed he was doing it. Sorry. Debbie reaches across, touches his hand. Her skin is warm, soft, fragile. Mark's aware of how easily he could crush the bones beneath. The thought arrives clinical, detached, not threatening, just observing. You can talk to me, Debbie says. About the fight, about Battle Beast, about anything. I'm fine, Mom, really. He pulls his hand back, stands. I should patrol. Eve's probably waiting. You just got home yesterday. You don't have to rush back into... I want to. The words come sharp. Mark softens his tone. I mean, people need help. That's the job, right? Debbie looks at him for a long moment. Whatever she sees makes her expression crumble at the edges. Okay, be careful. Mark kisses her forehead. Routine, expected, and heads upstairs. In his room he pulls on the suit. Yellow and blue. Hero colors. The fabric settles against his skin, familiar and foreign all at once. He catches his reflection in the mirror. Same face, same costume, but his eyes hold something new, a restlessness that won't settle. The window opens, silent. Mark lifts off, leaves the house behind. Eve meets him over the industrial district, sun painting her pink energy signature gold. Hey stranger, she calls out, flying closer. How's it feel to be back? Good. Mark matches her speed, her altitude. Below, factories exhale smoke into the morning sky. Really good. Cecil said you healed faster than expected, even for a Viltrumite. Yeah. Smart atoms did their thing. They patrol in silence for a while. Eve keeps glancing at him. Quick looks. Concern barely hidden. Mark knows he should ask about her week, about college applications, about whatever normal people talk about. The words stick in his throat. You're different, Eve finally says. Different how? Quiet? Distant? You haven't made a single joke. She tries to smile. Are you mad at me? Did I do something? No. You're fine. Everything's fine. Mark, the police scanner erupts. Dispatch reporting seismic activity downtown, building evacuations. Someone shouting about Doc's seismic. Eve's already turning toward the city center. Mark gets there first. He doesn't remember accelerating. One moment he's beside Eve, the next he's a quarter mile ahead, breaking Mach 1, the sonic boom rolling behind him like thunder. His body moves on instinct. Faster, harder, no hesitation. Doc Seismic stands in the middle of 4th Street, suit humming with stolen energy, arms raised like a conductor. The pavement buckles. Cracks spiderweb through concrete. A hospital 3 blocks away sways, patients pressed against windows. Invincible. Doc Seismic's voice booms through external speakers. I heard about your fight with Battle Beast. Heard you got destroyed. Maybe you should. Mark hits him. No warning. No banter. No attempt at negotiation. He crosses the distance in a heartbeat, drives his fist into Doc Seismic's chest hard enough to crater the armor. The seismic villain flies backward, crashes through a parked delivery truck. Metal screams. Glass explodes outward in diamond rain. Mark lands, walks forward. His boots crack pavement with each step. Doc Seismic staggers up, blood running from his nose behind the cracked faceplate. What the hell? The elbow bends backward with a wet pop. Then the forearm, then the wrist. Doc Seismic screams. The sound is raw, animal, beautiful. Mark smiles. He can't help it. The expression spreads across his face like sunrise, warm and inevitable. This feeling, the resistance of bone under his grip, the way Doc Seismic's whole body goes rigid with pain, it fills something hollow inside him. Mark, stop. Eve's voice, distant, unimportant. Mark raises his fist for another strike. Doc Seismic's good hand comes up, fires a seismic pulse point blank. The shockwave hits Mark's chest, rattles his teeth, sends vibrations through his skeleton. It hurts. Mark's smile widens. He punches through the pulse, through Doc Seismic's guard, connects with the villain's jaw. Bone cracks. Doc Seismic drops, hits the pavement like a sack of meat. Mark stands over him. His fist is raised. Doc Seismic isn't moving, isn't fighting back. The rational part of Mark's brain knows this, knows the fight is over. But the hunger wants more. Mark, you won. Eve materializes beside him, pink energy crackling around her hands. Not threatening, not yet. But ready. He's done. You got him. Mark looks at his fist, at Doc Seismic's broken form, at the blood on his knuckles, none of it his own. Slowly, so slowly, he lowers his hand. Right. His voice sounds hollow. Sorry. Got carried away. Doc Seismic groans, tries to crawl away. Mark watches him with clinical detachment. Part of him wants to continue, wants to see how much more the villain can take. The part he recognizes as himself, the part that used to be all of him, recoils in horror. The rest just feels disappointed. GDA vehicles arrive, agents in tactical gear surrounding Doc Seismic. Cecil teleports into the scene, charcoal suit immaculate despite the destruction. Efficient work, Cecil says, surveying the damage. His tone is neutral. His eyes are calculating. Maybe too efficient. He's alive. Mark says, with 3 broken limbs and a fractured skull. That's not subduing a threat. That's brutality. Just stands there while agents load Doc Seismic into a reinforced transport. Eve pulls Cecil aside. Mark's hearing, sharper than it was before Battle Beast, picks up every word. Something's wrong with him, Eve whispers. I know. He smiled. Cecil, while he was hurting Doc Seismic, he smiled. I'm monitoring the situation. Monitoring? He nearly killed someone. This isn't Mark. Cecil's response is too quiet even for Mark to hear. But he sees Cecil's hand move to his pocket, to something small, remote-sized. Mark looks away, pretends he didn't notice. The agents finish cleanup. Cecil teleports out. Eve hovers nearby, uncertainty written across her face. I should get going, Mark says. Mark, wait. We should talk about... I'm tired, Eve. I'll call you later. He takes off before she can respond. Flies high, fast, putting distance between himself and the concern in her eyes. Night finds Mark on a rooftop in the warehouse district. He's been here for 3 hours. Watching. Waiting. Not for crime. He doesn't care about the drug deal in the alley below, or the robbery 2 streets over, or the domestic dispute leaking through apartment windows. He's waiting for something that will fight back. Doc Seismic wasn't enough. The villain folded too quickly, broke too easily. The satisfaction Mark felt lasted maybe 30 seconds before the hunger returned. Worse than before. He looks at his hands. They're steady, strong, capable of terrible things. The thought should disturb him. It used to disturb him. Now it just feels true. His phone buzzes. Texts from Eve, from his mom, from William asking if he wants to hang out this weekend. Mark reads them with the same detachment he'd give a weather report. He should care. These are people he loves, people who love him. The word love feels distant, like something he learned in a language he's forgetting. A scream cuts through the night. 3 blocks east, someone in trouble. Mark stands, his body tenses, ready to respond. But he doesn't move. He listens to the scream fade, to the sound of running footsteps, to whoever it is escaping into the dark. Some mundane crime, some worthless struggle between worthless people, not worth his time. The realization lands without guilt, without shame, just cold calculation. He needs something stronger, something that will push him, test him, make him feel the way Battle Beast made him feel. Alive, present, real. Earth's criminals are insects. Its heroes are barely better. Where does he find a real challenge? Mark's phone buzzes again. This time it's Cecil. Situation developing. Titan is making a move on Machine Head's territory. Need you at the GDA. Mark deletes the message, then reconsiders. Titan, former villain turned reluctant ally. Strong. Enhanced. Not Doc Seismic weak, but not Viltrumite strong either. Might be worth a fight. Might scratch the itch for an hour. Maybe 2. Mark takes off toward the warehouse coordinates, Cecil included. Not because Cecil ordered it, not because Titan needs to be stopped, but because the hunger demands feeding, and feeding is all that matters anymore. Below him, the city sprawls in sodium vapor orange, full of people living their brief, fragile lives. Mark used to fly patrols thinking about protecting them, about being their shield. Now he just sees prey too weak to hunt. The change should terrify him. It doesn't, and that more than anything tells Mark Grayson exactly what he's becoming. Titan doesn't see it coming. The warehouse reeks of gunpowder and sweat. 20 of Machine Head's former lieutenants kneel in the center, hands zip-tied, while Titan's crew stands guard. This is a takeover, not a massacre. Titan is trying to clean up the criminal empire he inherited, root out the worst offenders. Mark crashes through the skylight. Glass rains down like daggers. He lands in a crouch, concrete cracking beneath his boots. Every head turns. Titan's armored form shifts, defensive stance automatic. Invincible. Titan's voice carries relief. Cecil sent you? Good. Help me secure. Mark moves. One moment he's 10 feet away. The next, his fist connects with Titan's chest plate. The reinforced armor, designed to withstand anti-tank rounds, crumples like aluminum foil. Titan flies backward, crashes through a steel support beam. The warehouse groans. What the hell? Titan tries to stand. Mark is already there, grabs Titan's arm, the same casual grip he'd use opening a door, pulls. The shoulder dislocates with a wet pop. Titan roars, throws a desperate punch with his good arm. Mark doesn't dodge. Lets it hit his face. His head snaps back. Blood wells from a split lip. The pain is sharp. Clean. Perfect. Mark's smile spreads slow and hungry. Keep going, he says. Titan's crew scatters. Smart. Mark barely registers them. His entire focus narrows to Titan, to the way the man's breath comes ragged behind his helmet, to the fear scent rolling off him in waves. Titan fires his wrist-mounted taser. 50,000 volts hit Mark's chest. His muscles lock. Neurons fire wrong. His smile never falters. That all? Mark's voice sounds dreamy, distant. He grabs the taser cable, yanks. Titan stumbles forward. Mark catches him with an uppercut that lifts the armored villain 3 feet off the ground. Titan's helmet cracks. Blood spatters the inside of the visor. Invincible, stop. I'm working with Cecil. I'm on your side. The words register somewhere. Mark knows they're true. Knows Titan is trying to do something good with the criminal empire fate dropped in his lap. Doesn't care. He pins Titan to the ground, one hand on his chest. With the other, he methodically breaks ribs. 1, 2, 3, feeling each one snap like green wood. Titan screams into his helmet. The sound is muffled, desperate. Beautiful. Stand down, Invincible. Cecil's voice cuts through the comm in Mark's ear. That's an order. Titan is a GDA asset. Crushes it between his fingers. Titan's good arm comes up, tries to push Mark away. The effort is pathetic. Mark catches the wrist, bends it backward until ligaments tear. He's about to continue, about to see exactly how much punishment Titan's enhanced physiology can endure, when something hits him from behind. Not physically. Sonically. Pain explodes through Mark's inner ear, shreds his equilibrium. The world tilts. He staggers, hands going to his head. The agony is blinding, all-consuming. He forces himself to stay conscious, to stay standing. Through the pain haze, he sees Cecil materialize 15 feet away. The director holds a remote, thumb on the button. His expression is carved granite. I said, stand down. The pain that would have dropped him 10 seconds ago is already fading to manageable. His vision clears. Bones in his inner ear restructure, compensate, learn from the assault. He straightens up. Cecil's eyes widen. That's not possible. That frequency should what? Mark takes a step forward. Then another, each one steadier than the last. Incapacitate me? It did. For about 30 seconds. Increases the frequency. Mark winces, blood trickling from his ear, but doesn't stop walking. Battle beast's genetics, Mark says conversationally. Must have changed how my atoms respond to pain. Made me adapt faster. He's close enough to touch Cecil now. You should probably run. Cecil teleports, reappears by Titan's broken form, grabs the injured man. Teleports again. Mark stands alone in the warehouse. Blood from his ear drips onto his collar. The hunger gnaws at him. Unsatisfied. Titan was better than Doc's seismic. Lasted longer. But still not enough. Never enough. He reaches behind his ear, digs his fingers into his own scalp, finds the implant beneath skin and bone. His smart atoms have already mapped its location, its structure. He pulls. Pain whites out his vision. Blood runs hot down his neck, but his fingers close on metal and polymer. He rips the device free, brings it to eye level. It's the size of a quarter, advanced circuitry, meant to be permanent. Mark crushes it, lets the pieces fall. The next 3 days blur together. Mark doesn't go home, doesn't answer calls, flies patrol routes on autopilot, searching for something worth fighting. He finds the Lizard League trying to rob a Federal Reserve, ends the fight in 90 seconds. King Lizard begs for mercy after Mark breaks his tail in 4 places. Mark leaves him alive, barely. The Mauler twins attempt to steal experimental weapons from a military base. Mark intercepts them, fights both simultaneously. They coordinate perfectly, decades of practice evident in every move. Mark doesn't care about strategy, just hits harder, faster. Doesn't stop until both twins are on their knees, armor shattered, begging him to stop. He does. Eventually, the hunger fades for an hour, maybe 2, then returns worse than before. At night, Mark perches on skyscrapers and watches the city breathe. Used to be he'd see people, families in apartments, couples on rooftops, lives worth protecting. Now he just sees heartbeats, vulnerabilities, weaknesses. The thoughts come unbidden. Clinical observations about killing efficiency, about who would fight back and who would fold. He doesn't want these thoughts, doesn't invite them. But they come anyway. Eve finds him on the fourth night. She materializes on the rooftop in a swirl of pink energy, arms crossed. You've been avoiding me. Been busy? Busy putting 17 criminals in the hospital? Eve's voice shakes, not with fear, with anger. Cecil showed me the footage. Mark, you're not stopping threats anymore, you're brutalizing them. Mark doesn't look at her, just stares at the city sprawl. They're criminals. They'll heal. That's not the point. You broke King Lizard's spine. The Mauler twins have internal bleeding. This isn't you. Everyone keeps saying that. Mark finally turns. Eve takes an involuntary step back. Whatever she sees in his face makes her energy flare defensive. But I've never felt clearer. Never felt more, myself. That's the curse talking. Whatever Battle Beast did to you, Battle Beast didn't do anything to me. His blood mixed with mine. My smart atoms adapted. Learned. This is just evolution, Eve. Evolution into what? A monster? The word should sting, should make Mark flinch, defend himself, prove he's still the hero she knows. It doesn't. Maybe, Mark says quietly, would that be so bad? Eve's energy flares brighter. Yes, of course it would. Mark, you saved me from my own powers going haywire, you cried when you couldn't save everyone during your dad's rampage. That's the real you. This, she gestures at him, this is poison. That Mark was weak, the words come cold, certain. He cared too much. Let emotions compromise his effectiveness. Got people killed because he hesitated. He was human. I'm not human, Eve. Mark's voice hardens. I'm Viltrumite. Half of one anyway. And maybe it's time I stopped pretending otherwise. The pink energy around Eve dims. Tears cut trails down her cheeks. I don't know who you are anymore. Sure you do. I'm invincible. He rises into the air. I'm exactly what the name says. Where are you going? To find something worth fighting. He takes off before she can respond. Doesn't look back. Can't afford to. The part of him that still recognizes love, that still understands loss, that part is shrinking, withering. Soon it'll be gone completely. Soon, maybe, the hunger will be all that's left. Mark lands at a GDA training facility 200 miles outside the city. It's 3 a.m. The facility should be locked down, skeleton crew only. Mark doesn't care. He walks through the main gate, tearing it from reinforced hinges. Alarms shriek. Spotlights pin him in white. This is a restricted facility. A voice booms over loudspeakers. Stand down immediately. Mark keeps walking. Reanimen pour from the barracks. 50 of them, maybe more. Sinclair's creations, corpses rebuilt with cybernetic enhancements, super strength, pain nullified, designed to fight Viltrumite-level threats. Mark doesn't slow down. The first reanimen lunges. Mark catches its fist, uses the momentum to swing it into 3 others. They collapse in a tangle of meat and metal. Another attacks from behind. Mark spins, drives his elbow through its chest cavity, circuits spark, fluids spray. He's not trying to kill them. They're already dead. Just trying to break them. Testing how much force is required, how many joints he can dislocate before they stop moving. Research. Clinical. Detached. The reanimen keep coming. Mark works methodically, dismantling each one. No wasted movement. No excessive force. Just enough to incapacitate. It takes 6 minutes. When he's done, 50 reanimen lie scattered across the compound, twitching, sparking, broken. Mark stands among them, breathing steady. Not even winded. The hunger purrs, satisfied. For now. Donald Ferguson appears via holographic projection. What the hell do you think you're doing? Testing your defenses. Mark looks at the carnage. They need work. You just destroyed 50 combat units. Millions in research and development. Send me the bill. Cecil wants you in custody. Immediately. Mark laughs. It's not a happy sound. He can try. The projection flickers, dies. Mark knows what comes next. Cecil will mobilize everything. The Guardians. More reanimen. Maybe even orbital weapons. Let him. Mark rises into the air, surveying his work. Somewhere in the back of his mind, a voice screams that this is wrong, that he's becoming exactly what he feared, that Battle Beast's curse is consuming him. That voice gets quieter every day. Soon, Mark knows, it'll disappear entirely, and he's starting to think that might be for the best. He flies to a remote mountain range, lands on a peak where snow never melts and air cuts like glass. His phone buzzes. He pulls it out. 17 missed calls from Eve, 32 from his mom, 63 texts. He scrolls through Debbie's messages. Mark, please come home. Whatever's happening, we can fix it. I love you, please. Mark stares at the words, tries to feel something. Affection, guilt, love, finds only emptiness. He deletes the messages, all of them, then sits cross-legged on frozen stone and waits for the sun to rise. When it does, painting the world gold and pink, Mark makes a decision. Earth has nothing left to offer. Its villains are insects. Its heroes are barely better. Even Cecil's best weapons couldn't stop him. He needs more. Needs stronger opponents. Worthy challenges. Needs what Battle Beast searched the galaxy to find. Mark stands, brushing snow from his suit, looks up at the stars fading with the dawn. Somewhere out there his father serves the Viltrumite Empire. An empire of warriors, of conquerors, of the strong. Maybe it's time Mark learned exactly what that means. He takes off, breaking the sound barrier before he clears the mountain, headed home. Not to stay, to ask questions, and get the answers that will set him free. Mark Grayson stands on the roof of his house, staring at the stars. He's been back on Earth for 6 hours. Debbie met him at the door with tears and desperation, words tumbling over themselves. Something's wrong with Mark. He's violent, distant. Won't talk to us. Please, you have to help him. Nolan tried. Called Mark's phone 47 times. Left messages. Sent texts. Got nothing back. Now he waits. The roof shingles creak behind him. Nolan doesn't turn. Doesn't need to. He knows that footfall, that weight distribution. Dad. Nolan turns. Mark hovers 3 feet off the roof, backlit by moonlight. His suit is torn in places. Blood, not his own. Nolan can smell the difference. Stains the yellow fabric dark. But it's Mark's eyes that stop Nolan cold. They're empty. Hungry. Familiar. Nolan has seen eyes like that before. On Viltrumites who've spent too long without worthy opponents. Warriors who've gone feral from isolation and boredom. But Mark is 19 years old. Too young for that particular madness. Your mother is worried, Nolan says carefully. I know. Mark lands on the roof. Doesn't sit. Just stands there, coiled energy barely contained. I need to ask you something. Anything. Tell me about the Viltrumite Empire. The words hang between them. Nolan has waited for this conversation since Mark was born. Planned it. Rehearsed it. In his vision, Mark would be older. More mature. Ready to understand the scope of Viltrum's mission. This isn't how he imagined it. Why do you want to know? Nolan asks. Mark's smile is all teeth. Because I want to know where the strong ones are. They fly to the Mojave Desert. Nolan chose the location deliberately. Isolated. Barren. Far from civilians. Whatever this conversation becomes, it needs to happen away from witnesses. They land on cracked earth under a sky thick with stars. Mark looks up at the cosmos, drinking in the distances. How many? Mark asks. How many what? Viltrumites. How many are left? Nolan hesitates, then decides truth is the only option. Fewer than 50 purebloods. The scourge virus killed the rest. Billions reduced to dozens. And they're all stronger than Earth's heroes? Exponentially. Even the weakest Viltrumite could conquer this planet alone. Mark's hands tremble. Not with fear, with anticipation. Where are they? Nolan's jaw tightens. Spread across the galaxy. Serving the Empire. Conquering worlds. Integrating populations. Expanding our reach. Why does it matter? I want to fight them. The words land like a bomb. Nolan stares at his son. Fight them? Mark, they'd kill you in seconds. You're strong for your age, but you're not ready for. Then make me ready. Mark steps closer. His eyes burn with something Nolan doesn't recognize. Train me. Teach me. Show me how to be strong enough. Strong enough for what? To challenge them. to fight the Empire's best and see if they're actually worth the reputation. Nolan's blood runs cold. You don't want to join the Empire, you want to hunt it. I want to fight anyone strong enough to make me feel something. Mark's voice drops to barely a whisper. Battle Beast showed me what real combat feels like. Everything else is just noise. Meaningless noise. Battle Beast. Nolan's mind races. What did he do to you? Gave me a gift. His blood mixed with mine during the fight. My smart atoms adapted. Learned. Now I understand what I'm meant to be. Nolan knows Viltrumite biology better than anyone on Earth. Knows how smart atoms work, how they adapt and evolve. But this, genetic contamination from an alien species, assimilation of foreign traits, this is unprecedented. Mark, listen to me carefully. What you're experiencing isn't natural. It's not you. It's biological corruption. It's evolution. Nolan's voice rises. Battle Beast is a creature of pure violence. If his genetics are influencing you, they're not influencing me. They're completing me. Mark meets his father's eyes. I spent 19 years pretending to be human, pretending I cared about their problems, their morals, their weakness. But I don't, not anymore. You're not thinking clearly. I'm thinking clearly for the first time in my life. Mark's voice cracks like thunder. Every fight before Battle Beast felt wrong. Holding back, protecting the weak, caring about collateral damage. It made me sick, Dad, made me feel trapped in someone else's life. Nolan reaches out, puts a hand on Mark's shoulder. That someone else was you, the real you, the boy your mother and I raised. Mark looks at the hand, then back at Nolan's face. That boy was weak. He cried when he couldn't save everyone. He hesitated when he should have struck. He let love make him vulnerable. Love isn't weakness. Yes, it is. Mark pulls away. And I'm done with it. Done with Earth. Done with pretending I'm something I'm not. Nolan's worst fears crystallize. He came to Earth 20 years ago with a mission. Prepare the planet for Viltrumite conquest. In that time, he did the unthinkable. He fell in love. With Debbie. With Earth. With the idea that maybe there was another way. Mark was supposed to be proof that Viltrumite and human could coexist, could create something better than either alone. Instead, the boy stands before him consumed by the worst impulses of both species, human capacity for obsession combined with Viltrumite capacity for violence. What do you want from me? Nolan asks quietly. Information, where the Empire operates, where their warriors gather, where I can find conquest. Conquest? Nolan's voice hardens. Conquest is second only to Thrag. He's survived thousands of years of warfare. He'd eviscerate you. Maybe, Mark's smile returns. Or maybe I'd surprise him. Either way, I need to know. I won't tell you. I won't help you commit suicide. Then I'll find out myself. Mark rises into the air. I'll tear through every criminal on Earth until one of them talks. Machine Head had intel on the Empire. Others will too. Or you could just tell me, save a lot of people a lot of pain. Nolan weighs his options. Mark is serious. The boy, no, not a boy anymore. Something else will do exactly what he threatens. The Earth's criminal underworld will burn while Mark searches for answers. Better to give him the information, better to control how he gets it. At least then Nolan can track him, protect him, maybe even save him. Thrag is the Grand Regent, Nolan says slowly. The strongest Viltrumite alive. He's never lost a fight. Hunger and joy mixed in equal measure. Conquest serves as his enforcer. Second strongest. Feared even by other Viltrumites. He's the one they send when a planet needs to learn the cost of resistance. Where? Mark, you're not listening. Where is Conquest? Nolan's shoulders sag. The last I heard, he was operating in the Tau Ceti system. But that was months ago. He could be anywhere now. How do I get there? You can't. You don't have faster-than-light capability. Even at your maximum speed, it would take decades to... Coalition vessels. Something that can get me off Earth. This is insane. This is necessary. Mark descends, stands face-to-face with his father. I'm dying here, Dad. Slowly. Every day on Earth is agony. Every fight with these weak, pathetic criminals makes the hunger worse. I need real opponents or I'll lose my mind completely. Nolan sees it then. Really sees it. His son is telling the truth. Whatever Battle Beast's genetics did, they've rewired Mark's fundamental psychology, The boy needs violence the way humans need oxygen. Deprive him of worthy combat, and he'll tear himself apart searching for it. There's another option, Nolan says carefully. I'd take you to the GDA. Cecil has resources. Scientists. Maybe they can find a cure. Reverse the genetic contamination. I don't want a cure. Mark, I don't want a cure. Each word drops like a hammer. This is what I am now. What I was always meant to be. I just needed Battle Beast to show me. Nolan makes a decision. One he'll regret. One he has to make anyway. Then I'm taking you back. By force if necessary. Force? Mark's smile widens. Are we going to fight, Dad? The eagerness in his voice is obscene. Nolan recognizes it, has felt it himself in the heat of conquest. The Viltrumite battle lust that turns combat into ecstasy. But hearing it from his son, seeing that hunger naked on Mark's face, it breaks something in Nolan's chest. I don't want to hurt you, Nolan says. I know. Mark's fists clench. But you will anyway, because you think you're saving me. And I'll fight back because you're finally giving me what I need. What you need is help. What I need is you to stop holding back. Mark attacks. No warning, no hesitation. Just pure explosive violence. His fist connects with Nolan's jaw hard enough to send the older Viltrumite flying. Nolan crashes through a rock formation, tumbles across sand, comes up defensive. Mark is already there. Throws a combination, hook, uppercut, knee to the ribs. Each strike carries killing intent. Nolan blocks, deflects, but the force behind the blows is staggering. Mark has gotten stronger. Much stronger. Mark, stop this. Mark's answer is a headbutt that breaks both their noses. Blood sprays. Mark laughs through the crimson mask. Make me. Nolan tries to restrain him. Grabs Mark's arms. Holds him in place. Mark doesn't struggle. Just looks at his father with those empty, hungry eyes. You're holding back, Mark says quietly. Don't. I won't hurt my own son. Then you've already lost. Mark breaks the hold. Raw strength, overwhelming technique, drives his knee into Nolan's stomach hard enough to double the older Viltrumite over. Follows with an elbow to the base of Nolan's skull. Nolan hits the ground. Tastes blood. Tastes failure. Mark stands over him, breathing hard. Not from exertion, from excitement. You were supposed to be strong, Mark says. Disappointment colors his voice. The great Omni-Man, conqueror of planets. But you're weak too. Compromised by love, by Earth, by her. Nolan looks up. Don't you dare. Mom made you soft, made you question the Empire, made you forget what you are. Mark crouches down, eye level with his father. I won't make that mistake. I'll never let anyone make me that weak. Love isn't weakness. You keep saying that, like repetition makes it true. Mark stands. I'm leaving Earth. Tonight. I'm going to find the Empire. And when I do, I'm going to fight every single Viltrumite until I find one worthy of the name. They'll kill you, but at least I'll die fighting something that matters. Nolan struggles to his feet. His body aches, something it hasn't done in decades. Mark did this with brute force and suicidal aggression. No technique, no strategy, just raw, overwhelming violence. Exactly like Battle Beast. If you do this, Nolan says, there's no coming back. Earth will be defenseless when the Empire comes. Your mother will lose you. Everything I've built here will collapse. Mark looks at him for a long moment, then speaks the words that confirm Nolan's worst fear. Not my problem anymore. He takes off, straight up, disappearing into the stars he'd been staring at earlier. Nolan stands alone in the desert, blood drying on his face, watching his son vanish. He's failed. Failed as a father, failed as a mentor, failed to save the boy from the monster wearing his skin. Debbie will be waiting at home, waiting for answers Nolan doesn't have. Behind him, the rock formation he crashed through stands broken, a monument to everything that went wrong. Nolan activates his comm. Cecil, we have a problem. I know, Cecil's voice crackles back. Satellite tracked your fight. Is Mark gone? He's going after the Empire. Silence on the line. Then, God help us all. Somewhere up there, Mark is preparing to wage war on the most dangerous warriors in the galaxy. And there's nothing Nolan can do to stop him. Nothing except watch as the cursed battle beast planted takes root and blooms into something terrible and unstoppable. His son is gone. What's left is Invincible. And Invincible has only one purpose now: the hunt. Debbie Grayson knows something is wrong the moment Nolan walks through the door. Blood crusts his mustache. His suit, white and red, pristine when he left, is torn across the chest. He moves like a man who's been hit by a truck. Multiple trucks. Where's Mark? Her voice cracks. We need to talk. Where is my son? Nolan meets her eyes. In 20 years of marriage, Debbie has seen many expressions cross her husband's face. Pride, love, determination, even fear, once, when Mark first got his powers. She's never seen defeat. You need to leave the house, Nolan says quietly. Right now, pack a bag. Go to your sister's. Don't come back until I call you. I'm not going anywhere until you tell me what happened. Debbie, he's my son too. The words explode from her. I carried him for 9 months. I raised him. I held him when he cried and cheered when he flew, and I will not be shut out of this. Nolan flinches. He's not himself anymore. Battle Beast's genetics, the contamination is complete. Mark is dangerous to everyone, including you. He wouldn't hurt me. The Mark you knew wouldn't. This one, Nolan trails off. I don't know what this one would do. Footsteps on the stairs. Both of them turn. Mark stands in the doorway to his bedroom, still in his suit. He must have come in through his window. How long has he been listening? Mom. Mark's voice is flat, empty. You should leave. Debbie's breath catches. She crosses the living room, ignoring Nolan's warning hand. Stops 3 feet from her son. Searches his face for the boy she raised. Finds a stranger. Baby, what's happening to you? Evolution. Mark doesn't meet her eyes. I'm becoming what I was always meant to be. You're meant to be my son. Mark Grayson. The boy who cried during Toy Story, who helped me bake cookies every Sunday, who... That person is dead. Mark's eyes finally rise to meet hers. They're completely empty. He was weak, sentimental, compromised by emotions he couldn't afford. Debbie's hand moves on instinct, reaches to touch his face, to cup his cheek the way she did when he was small. Mark doesn't pull away, doesn't react at all, just stands there letting her hand rest against his skin. I don't feel anything when you do that, Mark says quietly. Debbie's hand drops. Tears cut tracks down her face. You're scaring me. I know. That's why you should go. I'm not leaving you. You don't have a choice. Mark's voice hardens. I'm leaving Earth, tonight. Going to find the Empire. You can't stop me. No one can. Mark, please. Mom. He says it gently, almost kindly. I love you. I think I do. But it's distant, like remembering something from a dream. Soon I won't remember it at all. So you should go before I forget completely. Nolan steps between them. That's enough. Debbie, go to the car. Now. Nolan. Now. She stumbles backward, grabs her purse from the counter, pauses at the door. I'll be waiting, she says to Mark. When you come back, when you're ready, I'll be here. Mark doesn't respond. Debbie leaves. The door clicks shut. Her car starts outside, tires on gravel. Then silence. Father and son face each other in the living room, where Mark learned to walk. You broke her heart, Nolan says. She'll heal. Humans are resilient that way. You're human too. Half, Mark corrects. And that half is dying. Soon it'll be gone completely. Then I'll be what you always wanted. Pure Viltrumite. I never wanted this. Liar. Mark's smile is sharp. You spent 20 years trying to prepare Earth for conquest, trying to make me embrace my heritage. Now I have. Just not the way you expected. Nolan's fists clench. I made mistakes. I've been trying to fix them, to be better. For your. Too late. Mark walks toward the stairs. I'm packing. Need to grab a few things before I hit the GDA hangar. Nolan moves. Blocks the stairs with his body. You're not going anywhere. I'm taking you to the GDA. They'll sedate you, study you, find a way to reverse this. We had this conversation in the desert. It ended with your face in the sand. I was holding back. I know. Don't make the same mistake twice. Nolan grabs Mark's shoulder, firm, restraining. As your father, I'm making this decision for you. You're sick. You need help. Mark looks at the hand on his shoulder, then at Nolan's face. Let go. No. Dad, let go. Nolan tightens his grip. Make me. Mark does. His fist comes up in a blur, catches Nolan under the ribs, lifts him off his feet. They crash through the living room wall into the kitchen. Debbie's good china explodes across tile. The refrigerator tips, contents spilling. Nolan recovers fast, throws Mark through the opposite wall into the dining room. The table their family ate at for 19 years splinters. Mark stands up laughing. Blood runs from his nose. His smile is manic, unhinged. Finally, they collide in the center of the house. Fists and knees and elbows. Each impact sounds like thunder. The foundation cracks. Windows shatter. The second floor groans. Nolan fights defensive, trying to restrain without crippling, trying to subdue without killing. Mark has no such restraint. He bites, claws, uses his head as a weapon. Every technique is savage, animalistic, no training, just primal violence. And it's working. Nolan's lip splits. His eye swells. Mark lands 3 hits for every one of Nolan's. Not because he's stronger, because he doesn't care about the damage he takes. They crash through the ceiling into Mark's bedroom. Posters of superheroes watch them fight. Adam, Eve. The Guardians. Images of the life Mark is leaving behind. Mark grabs his father by the throat, slams him into the wall hard enough to crater plaster. You're still holding back. Stop holding back. I won't hurt you. You already are! Mark's voice breaks. For a moment, just a moment, the hunger recedes. Anguish flickers across his face. Keeping me here is torture. Every day on Earth is agony. Can't you understand that? Nolan sees it then, the truth beneath the violence. His son is suffering. The curse isn't just making Mark violent. It's making him need violence the way humans need air. Without it, he's drowning, suffocating, dying slowly. I'm sorry, Nolan whispers. Then he hits Mark with everything he has. The punch sends Mark through the bedroom wall, through the bathroom beyond, out into open air. Mark tumbles, catches himself, hovers above the house. Nolan follows. They rise above the suburbs, above the city, into the cold upper atmosphere where their fight won't kill bystanders. Better, Mark says. Blood freezes on his face. Now we can really fight. They clash at 20,000 feet. No holding back now. Nolan accepts what he has to do. Beat Mark unconscious. Drag him to the GDA. Let Cecil's scientists work on a cure. Even if it takes years. Even if Mark hates him forever. Better alive and hating than dead and gone. But Mark is faster than he was in the desert. Stronger. His smart atoms are evolving mid-fight, adapting to Nolan's strikes. Every hit Nolan lands, Mark shrugs off easier than the last. They trade blows that would level buildings. Blood, Viltrumite blue, spatters across clouds. They're moving so fast regular humans couldn't track them. Just sonic booms and contrails marking their war. Nolan lands a devastating combination. Right hook, left uppercut, knee to the sternum. Mark's ribs crack. He spits blood. And laughs. More. Nolan grabs Mark, accelerates to Mach 5, intends to slam his son into the Atlantic hard enough to stun him. Mark breaks the hold, reverses their momentum. They plummet toward Chicago instead. No. Nolan tries to change course. Too late. They crater downtown at terminal velocity. The impact destroys 3 city blocks. Car alarms scream. People run. Dust and debris fill the air. Mark rises from the crater first. Bone protrudes from his forearm. He sets it casually, doesn't even wince. The wound starts healing immediately. Nolan staggers up. We need to move this away from civilians. Why? Mark's voice carries across the destruction. They don't matter. They're people. They're insects. Mark picks up an overturned car, empty, abandoned in the panic, hurls it at Nolan. Nolan dodges. The car crashes into a building. Mark uses the distraction to attack, tackles Nolan through an office tower. They explode out the other side. Nolan pins Mark against a concrete wall. You're killing people. You're the one who brought the fight to the city. Mark headbutts him. I was fine fighting in the sky. He's right. Nolan realizes it with horror. He chose the trajectory trying to use Mark's remaining humanity against him, hoping the presence of civilians would make Mark hesitate. But Mark doesn't hesitate, doesn't care. The humanity is gone. A subway rumbles beneath them. Mark's eyes light up. Let's take this underground. He dives through the street. Asphalt and concrete explode. Nolan follows, trying to stop him, trying to prevent what comes next. They crash into a subway tunnel. The train ahead screeches to a halt, operator slamming brakes. Mark doesn't even look at it, just attacks Nolan with renewed fury. They fight through the tunnel, each impact sending shock waves through infrastructure. Support beams crack, tiles shatter, water mains burst. Nolan tries to lead the fight away from the train. Mark follows, relentless. They burst back to the surface. Mark grabs a chunk of concrete, swings it like a club. It shatters against Nolan's head. Nolan drops to one knee. Mark stands over him, breathing hard, covered in blood and dust and broken hopes. "What will I have after 500 years?" Mark asks. Not the canonical question. Something worse. "I'll have the scars you give me, Dad, and the memory of the only good fight I ever had." Nolan's heart breaks. "Please," Nolan begs, "please come back to us." There's nothing to come back to. Mark raises his fist for a finishing blow. Nolan could block it, could counter, could keep fighting, but he can't. Can't keep hurting his son. Can't keep trying to cage something that needs to be free, even if that freedom leads to destruction. Mark's fist comes down, stops an inch from Nolan's face. "You gave up," Mark says quietly. "I can see it. You're done." "Yes." "That's disappointing." Mark lowers his fist, steps back. "I thought you'd be stronger. Thought the great Omni-Man would fight until one of us died." "I'm fighting to save you, not kill you. You can't save me, Dad." Battle Beast made sure of that. Mark looks at the destroyed city around them. Fires burning. Buildings collapsed. Sirens wailing. "Tell Mom I'm sorry. Tell her I tried to feel something when she touched my face. I really did try." Mark flies away, straight up, disappearing into the afternoon sky. Nolan kneels in the rubble of Chicago. Blood drips from his face. Around him, people are screaming, dying, trapped beneath debris. Emergency services arrive. Firefighters, police, EMTs trying to reach survivors. The early reports come in over emergency bans. 3,200 casualties. Maybe more. Entire blocks leveled. A disaster on the scale of a natural catastrophe. Except this was two people, father and son, destroying a city while fighting over the son's soul. Nolan starts digging, pulling survivors from wreckage. It's all he can do. Save who he can. Atone in the only way left. A helicopter appears. GDA markings. Cecil's voice booms from speakers. Omni-Man status report. Nolan looks up. Blood and tears mix on his face. "I lost him," Nolan says. "I couldn't save him. I couldn't stop him." The helicopter hovers. Cecil's voice comes again, quieter. Is he coming back? The hunger that consumed everything else, the way his son looked at him, not with hate, but with complete indifference. "No," Nolan says, "he's not." Headed for the GDA Nevada facility, for the experimental spacecraft, for the stars, and the empire beyond. Nolan pulls another survivor from the wreckage. A young man, unconscious, but breathing. He saved him. But he couldn't save the one person who mattered most, the one who didn't want saving. Chicago burns. And somewhere in the smoke and screaming, Nolan Grayson, Omni-Man conqueror of worlds, breaks down and cries. The GDA medical bay smells like disinfectant and failure. Nolan lies on a reinforced bed, one of 3 on Earth designed to hold a Viltrumite. Medical equipment beeps around him. Monitors track vitals that would kill a human but merely indicate injury for him. His face is a ruin, left eye swollen shut, jaw fractured in 2 places, ribs cracked, internal bleeding his smart atoms are still repairing. He's been through worse, survived the Viltrumite purges, conquered planets, fought coalition armadas. This hurts more than all of that combined. Debbie sits in a chair beside the bed. She hasn't spoken in 3 hours, just holds his hand, the one that isn't broken, and stares at nothing. The door hisses open. Cecil enters, Donald Ferguson 1 step behind. The director's expression is carved from stone. "How bad?" Cecil asks. "Physically, I'll heal." Nolan's voice comes rough through his damaged jaw. Everything else. Cecil pulls up a holographic display. Aerial footage of Chicago. The destruction stretches for blocks. Buildings reduced to skeletal frames. Cars crushed. Fires still burning despite emergency response. Casualty count is at 3,217, Cecil says flatly. Expected to rise. Another 800 in critical condition. Property damage in the tens of billions. Debbie makes a sound, not quite a sob. Something worse. The world saw it, Cecil continues. Satellite footage, cell phone videos, Invincible and Omni-Man destroying an American city. The narrative is already forming. Two Viltrumites fighting, humans caught in the crossfire. Oh, it wasn't like that, Nolan says. Doesn't matter what it was like. Matters what it looked like. Cecil dismisses the hologram. I've got the president calling every 10 minutes demanding answers. The UN wants a full investigation. Half the country thinks you're both aliens planning invasion. The other half wants Mark's head on a pike. He's sick. He's dangerous, Cecil's voice cuts like a blade. I've reviewed all the footage. Mark didn't just fight you. He chose to bring the battle to a populated area, and through all of it he was smiling. Debbie stands. Her voice shakes. He's my son. He's not a monster. Mrs. Grayson, I understand. You don't understand anything, the words explode from her. My baby is out there alone, sick, probably dying, and you're treating him like a threat to eliminate. Because he is. Cecil doesn't flinch. Battle Beast's genetic contamination has made him unstable, violent. He put 17 criminals in the hospital before Chicago, destroyed 50 reanimen, assaulted a GDA facility, and now this. He needs help. He needs to be stopped. Cecil turns to Nolan. You're the only one who can track him. You know how he thinks. Where would he go? Nolan closes his good eye. He told me he's going after the Empire, looking for worthy opponents. The Viltrumite Empire? That's suicide. He knows. Doesn't care. He's convinced he'll either find a fight worth dying for or grow strong enough to challenge Thrag himself. Donald speaks up for the first time. Our satellite network tracked an unauthorized launch from the Nevada facility 2 hours ago. One of our experimental ships reverse-engineered Coalition technology. He can reach deep space? Cecil asks. FTL capable, limited range, but enough to reach nearby systems. Cecil processes this. So he's gone, off Earth, heading into the galaxy to wage a one-man war against the most dangerous warriors alive. Yes, Nolan says quietly. Debbie sits back down. The fight drains from her. Will he come back? No one answers. Eve Wilkins watches the news in her dorm room. The footage plays on repeat. Mark and Nolan tearing through Chicago. The devastation, the casualties. News anchors speculating about alien invasion. Superhuman oversight, the failure of the GDA. Her roommate hovers in the doorway. That's your boyfriend, right? Was. Eve's voice is hollow. I don't know what he is now. Her phone buzzes. Text from Cecil. Need to speak with you. GDA headquarters. 1 hour. Eve deletes it. Deletes all of them. She's done with the GDA. Done with hero work. Done with watching people she cares about become monsters. She pulls up her last conversation with Mark, the rooftop, 4 nights ago. His empty eyes. His casual dismissal of everything they'd been. She'd watched him fly away then. Should have stopped him. Should have done something. Eve closes her eyes, opens her contacts, scrolls to Mark's name, hovers over the delete button. Can't do it. Not yet. Maybe not ever. William Clockwell sees the footage during lunch. The student center erupts. Everyone talking at once, arguing about whether Invincible is a hero or villain, whether Viltrumites should be trusted, whether Earth needs better defenses against superhuman threats. William sits silent, remembering Mark in high school. The nervous kid who couldn't talk to girls, who got excited about comic books, who tried to balance homework and saving the world. That kid wouldn't destroy a city. That kid is dead. William's phone rings. Unknown number. He almost doesn't answer. William? It's Debbie Grayson. Her voice is wrecked. Broken. Mrs. Grayson, had you heard from Mark? Any texts, calls, anything? No, nothing since last week. He was acting strange, but I thought, William stops. Is he okay? Silence on the line. Then, no, he's very far from okay. What can I do? I don't know. Her voice cracks. I just needed to hear that someone else remembers, that he was real, that the boy I raised actually existed. He existed, William says quietly. He was my best friend. He was good. Was. Debbie repeats the word. Past tense. Mrs. Grayson, thank you, William, for remembering. William sits in the student center, surrounded by people debating whether Mark Grayson is hero or monster. He knows the answer. Mark was both, and now he's neither. Just gone. Cecil stands in the GDA Situation Room, surrounded by screens. Each one shows a different angle of the disaster. Satellite imagery, traffic cameras, cell phone footage. All of it damning. Donald approaches with a tablet. Preliminary analysis from our scientists. They studied Mark's blood samples from the Battle Beast fight. And the genetic assimilation is irreversible. Battle Beast's DNA has integrated at the cellular level. Mark's smart atoms recognized it as an adaptation and incorporated it permanently. Can it be suppressed? Controlled? Unknown. We'd need to study him directly, run tests, develop countermeasures. Donald pauses. But he destroyed the sonic implant. Our only leverage is gone. Cecil lights a cigar. Thinks, what about Nolan? Could he track Mark through Viltrumite networks? Possibly. But Nolan is compromised, too emotionally invested. Cecil exhales smoke. Mark Grayson was supposed to be Earth's future, the bridge between human and Viltrumite, proof that coexistence was possible. What is he now? Cecil watches the screens, watches Mark smile while fighting his father, while leaving everything behind without a second glance. A cautionary tale. The spacecraft breaks orbit at 0347 hours. GDA satellites track it. Cecil watches the trajectory on holographic displays in the Situation Room. The ship accelerates, Coalition technology performing beyond projected parameters. Mark must have upgraded the engines, pushed them past safety limits. The boy always was good with machines. Time to FTL jump? Cecil asks. Donald checks readouts. 12 minutes at current acceleration. Once he jumps, we lose him completely. They watch the countdown. 11 minutes. 10. 9. The Situation Room stays silent. At 2 minutes, Donald speaks. Sir, we could still fire the hammer. No. Cecil's voice is final. I won't shoot a sick kid in the back while he's running away. They watch the blip accelerate. 1 minute. 30 seconds. The ship crosses the threshold. Jump engines engage. The blip disappears from the display. Gone. Cecil stares at the empty screen for a long moment. Increase satellite coverage, he finally says. If Mark returns, I want advance warning. And then what? Then we pray he's found what he was looking for, or that he died trying. The screens go dark. Earth's greatest hero is gone. What remains is only the damage, and the terrible certainty that if Mark Grayson returns, he won't be coming back to save anyone. He'll be coming back to conquer or destroy, or both. The spacecraft breaks orbit at 0347 hours. Mark sits in the cockpit, Earth shrinking in the viewport. The blue marble that was his home, the planet he swore to protect. Now just another rock behind him. He feels nothing. No regret, no longing, no grief for the life he's leaving. Just hunger. And the vast, beautiful darkness ahead. Mark punches coordinates into the navigation system. Tau Ceti, 12 light years. At maximum FTL, 6 days. 6 days until the real hunt begins. He pulls up the intelligence files stolen from the GDA, Viltrumite Empire organizational structure. Known warriors, power assessments, outpost locations scattered across a dozen systems. Conquest's file stares back at him. Over 5,000 years old, survived the Scourge virus, conquered 43 planets personally, considered second only to Thrag in combat effectiveness. Mark's pulse quickens. Not with fear. With anticipation so intense, it's almost sexual. He starts reviewing combat footage. Conquest destroying a coalition fleet single-handedly. Each movement is precise, economical, brutal. The Viltrumite moves through ships like they're tissue paper, rips hulls open with bare hands, crushes fusion cores, kills thousands in minutes. Mark watches the footage 3 times, studies every strike, every positioning choice, every tactical decision. He's not afraid of conquest. He's learning from him. Then he'll surpass him. Then he'll kill him. The thought makes Mark smile. The Coalition patrol never saw it coming. 3 ships on routine reconnaissance near the Wolf 359 system. 12 warriors total. Veterans who'd fought Viltrumites before and survived. Mark drops out of FTL directly in their path. They hail him, demand identification, threaten to fire. Mark doesn't respond, just exits his ship into hard vacuum and accelerates toward them. The lead ship opens fire, energy weapons, plasma cannons, kinetic rounds designed to pierce Viltrumite's skin. Mark flies through the barrage. The impacts hurt, burns blossom across his chest, his arms, blood freezes instantly in vacuum. The pain is exquisite. He lands on the lead ship's hull, tears through armor plating with his bare hands. The metal screams. Inside, aliens scramble. The species is unfamiliar. Six-limbed, chitinous, wielding energy weapons that crackle with unstable power. They fire. Mark's shoulder explodes. Bone fragments, muscle tissue flash frozen and shattered. He doesn't slow down, grabs the nearest alien by two of its limbs, pulls. The joints separate with wet pops. The creature's scream is ultrasonic. Mark feels it in his teeth. He beats another alien to death with its companion's severed arms. The others retreat, fire desperately. Mark advances through the weapons fire. His smart atoms work frantically, healing damage as fast as it accumulates. 7 minutes later, the ship is silent. Mark stands among the carnage, breathing hard. Not from exertion, from satisfaction. The hunger purrs, content. For now, he moves to the next ship. By the time he's finished with all 3 vessels, 18 aliens are dead. Mark leaves them floating in the debris field, doesn't loot the ships, doesn't care about their technology, just wanted to see if they'd fight back. They did. Not well enough. Mark returns to his ship. His shoulder has fully healed. The burns are gone. His smart atoms incorporated something from the fight, adapted to the alien energy weapons, made him more resistant. Every kill teaches him something new. He sets course for Tau Ceti. 4 more days. The hunger whispers, more. We need more. Mark smiles. Soon. The Viltrumite outpost orbits Tau Ceti 4 like a steel tumor. 12 warriors. Mark's sensors confirm it. Veterans all. Survivors of the Scourge virus. Each one has conquered at least 2 planets personally. Mark doesn't try to be subtle, just accelerates toward the station at maximum velocity. Alarms shriek. The outpost's defensive grid activates, automated weapons tracking his approach. Energy beams lance through space. Mark weaves between them. 2 catch him. One burns through his thigh. Another vaporizes his left ear. He doesn't slow down. Hits the station's shield generator at Mach 200. The impact creates a shockwave visible from the planet's surface. The shield collapses. Debris explodes outward. Mark punches through the station's outer hull into the main corridor. 12 Viltrumites are waiting. The lead warrior is massive. 8 feet tall, muscles like steel cables, mustache braided with metal rings. Scars cover his face, each one a story of survival. Omni-Man's whelp? His voice rumbles like distant thunder. We heard you went feral. Didn't believe it. Mark floats in the corridor. Blood runs from where his ear used to be. It's already growing back. I'm invincible, and you're my warm-up. The big Viltrumite laughs. Warm up? Boy, you're outnumbered 12-1. You're not. Mark moves. No warning, no posturing. Pure violence. He crosses 50 feet in a heartbeat. His fist connects with the big warrior's jaw hard enough to shatter bone. The Viltrumite's head snaps back. Teeth explode from his mouth in a spray of blue blood. The others swarm. Mark doesn't try to dodge, doesn't try to block, just fights. Takes a punch that fractures his skull, returns it with interest, caves in his attacker's ribcage. A Viltrumite grabs him from behind in a chokehold. Mark drives his head backward, breaks the warrior's nose, then grabs the arm around his throat and tears it off at the shoulder. The screaming is beautiful. He uses the severed arm as a club, beats another Viltrumite with it until the limb breaks apart in his hands. They're fighting like soldiers, coordinated, tactical, centuries of experience evident in every movement. Mark fights like an animal, no technique, no strategy, just overwhelming, suicidal aggression. And it's working. His smart atoms are evolving in real time. Every strike he takes, he learns from. Every wound teaches his cells how to resist that specific type of damage. He bites through a warrior's throat, tastes Viltrumite blood, bitter, metallic, perfect, grabs another by the head, and slams him into the bulkhead until the skull cracks open. The big warrior with the broken jaw rallies, throws a combination that would kill most beings. Each punch lands. Mark's ribs shatter. His orbital bone fractures. Mark smiles through the blood. Finally, someone who can hurt me. He returns the combination. Faster, harder. The big warrior's guard shatters. Mark's fist drives through his sternum, wraps around his spine, pulls. The warrior's eyes widen, mouth opens. No sound comes out. Mark holds the spine up, studies it, drops it, moves to the next opponent. 2 hours later, Mark floats alone in the station. 11 Viltrumites dead. One survivor, the youngest, barely 200 years old, missing both arms. He's begging in a language Mark doesn't speak. Mark crouches beside him. Where is Conquest? The young Viltrumite babbles coordinates, emergency frequencies, everything. Mark memorizes it all, then breaks the warrior's neck. Quick, almost merciful. He stands among the carnage. His body is a ruin, bones broken, organs ruptured, one eye dangling from the socket by the optic nerve. His smart atoms work frantically, knitting, healing, adapting. 30 minutes later, he's whole again. Better than whole. Stronger. Mark activates the station's communication array, broadcasts on the emergency frequency the dying warrior gave him. This is Invincible. Mark Grayson, Omni-Man's son. I just killed 12 of your warriors at Tau Ceti. Send Conquest. Send your best. I'll be waiting in the Regulus sector. He transmits the coordinates, then destroys the array, returns to his ship, loads supplies from the outpost, Viltrumite rations, medical equipment, star charts, sets course for Regulus. The hunger whispers, Conquest is coming. Mark's smile is all teeth. Good. Mark becomes a ghost story, a nightmare whispered in Empire outposts across 6 systems. The half-breed who hunts full-bloods. The one who smiles while he kills. Sirius System, 8 Viltrumites dead in 40 minutes. Mark loses an arm in that fight, regrows it. Proxima Centauri, supply convoy, 15 warriors. Mark takes them all, loses an eye, his third. It grows back sharper than before. Vega System, training facility, 23 Viltrumites, mostly young recruits, newly empowered. Mark doesn't care about their age. They die like the rest. Each battle teaches him. Each kill makes him stronger. His smart atoms are evolving beyond Viltrumite parameters now, incorporating battle beasts' genetics, yes, but also adapting to every type of damage he sustains. Energy weapons? His cells develop resistance. Crushing force? His bones restructure, density increasing. Vacuum exposure? His body learns to function with minimal oxygen. He's becoming something new, something unprecedented. Not Viltrumite, not human, not even what Battle Beast was. Something worse. By week 12, Mark's body count is 67 confirmed kills. The Empire knows his name now, knows to fear it, and on the edge of the Regulus sector, Conquest finally responds. Mark floats in an asteroid field, cataloging injuries from his latest fight. 3 broken ribs, fractured femur, second-degree burns across his back where a Viltrumite tried to fly him through a star's corona. His smart atoms are already working. The pain is distant, manageable, almost pleasant. His ship's sensors ping. Something massive just dropped out of FTL. Mark's heart rate spikes, not with fear, with joy. A vessel materializes, Dreadnought class, 10 times the size of anything else in the sector. The transmission comes immediately. A hologram flickers to life in Mark's cockpit. Conquest. The ancient Viltrumite is exactly as the files described. Massive, scarred, face like weathered stone, eyes that have watched civilizations burn. He studies Mark with clinical detachment. You are invincible. Not a question, a statement. I am. Mark's voice is steady, calm. The hunger coils in his stomach like a living thing. You have killed 67 of my warriors. 67 confirmed. Probably a few more I didn't verify. Conquest's expression doesn't change. You fight like Battle Beast. No honor. No discipline. Just violence. Battle Beast had the right idea. Mark's smile spreads. Everything else is just noise. You wish to die in glorious combat. I wish to fight someone worthy. Mark's hands tremble. Not from fear. From anticipation. If that kills me, fine. But I don't think it will. Conquest studies him for a long moment. I am 5,000 years old. I have survived the Scourge virus. I have conquered 43 worlds. I am second only to Thrag himself. His voice is flat, clinical. You are 19 years old with 3 months of experience. This fight will last approximately 6 seconds. Then, let's find out. Conquest's hologram vanishes. 3 seconds later, Conquest exits his ship. They face each other across 10,000 kilometers of empty space, 2 figures backlit by a dying red giant. Mark's entire body sings with anticipation. This is it. This is what Battlebeast's curse promised, a worthy opponent. Finally, Conquest moves first. Conquest closes the distance in a heartbeat. His fist catches Mark in the chest. The impact fractures Mark's sternum, stops his heart for 3 seconds, sends him flying backward at Mach 10. Mark crashes through an asteroid, keeps going, hits another. His heart restarts. His sternum knits. He grins through the blood, reverses course, accelerates toward Conquest. They meet in the space between asteroids. What follows isn't a fight. It's mutual annihilation. Conquest fights with 5,000 years of experience. Every strike is calculated, precise, designed to disable, cripple, kill. Mark fights like a rabid animal. No defense, no strategy. Just overwhelming aggression and the absolute certainty that he'll survive whatever Conquest dishes out. Conquest's backhand shatters Mark's jaw. Mark's knee breaks Conquest's ribs. They grapple. Conquest's grip is a vice. Bones creak under the pressure. Mark doesn't try to escape, just headbutts Conquest repeatedly until the ancient warrior's nose breaks. Blood, Viltrumite blue, sprays across the void. Conquest throws Mark into an asteroid. The rock explodes. Mark flies through the debris cloud, grabs a boulder twice his size, hurls it. Conquest dodges. The boulder misses. Mark was behind it. His fist drives into Conquest's kidney. The ancient warrior's breath explodes from his lungs. Mark follows up, elbow to the spine, knee to the liver, another headbutt that cracks both their skulls. They separate, drift apart, both bleeding, both healing. Conquest's expression shifts, not fear, not yet, but recognition. You're stronger than you should be, Conquest says. Blood runs from his mouth. Battlebeast's genetics, my smart atoms don't just adapt. Mark grins. They evolve. Every hit I take makes me more resistant. Every wound teaches me. Then I'll kill you before you adapt. Conquest moves, faster than before, a blur even to Mark's enhanced perception, catches Mark's arm, twists. The shoulder dislocates, then the elbow, then the wrist. The arm is useless. Conquest doesn't stop, grabs Mark's leg. Same treatment, hip, knee, ankle, each joint wrenched beyond breaking. Mark hangs in space, 2 limbs destroyed, blood freezing in vacuum. He's still smiling. That hurt, Mark says. His voice is dreamy, distant. Do it again. Conquest's eyes widen. Mark's smart atoms are already working, but not just healing, adapting. The joints restructure, ligaments strengthen, bones density increases. The useless arm starts to move. Impossible, Conquest breathes. You're teaching me how to survive this, Mark says. Every time you break something, it comes back stronger. Conquest's expression hardens. Then I'll destroy you completely. He grabs Mark's head with both hands. Starts to pull, trying to rip it off. The pressure is enormous. Mark's spine creaks, his vertebrae crack. He feels his neck starting to separate. The pain is transcendent. Mark's working arm comes up, grabs Conquest's wrist, squeezes, bones crack. Conquest's grip loosens. Just slightly, Mark's other arm, the one that was destroyed 30 seconds ago, suddenly moves. Grabs Conquest's other wrist. Now they're locked together, each trying to destroy the other. Mark's healing is outpacing the damage now. His smart atoms are working faster than Conquest can break him. You can't win, Mark says. Blood bubbles from his mouth. I'm getting stronger. You're getting tired. I am Conquest. I do not tire. Everyone tires. Mark headbutts him again, and again, and again. Conquest's grip weakens. Mark breaks free, grabs Conquest by the throat, flies, accelerates to Mach 50, Mach 100, Mach 200, heads directly for the red giant star on the system's edge. Conquest struggles, throws punches that shatter Mark's face, break his nose, cave in his cheekbone. Mark's face heals, keeps healing. His smart atoms are operating beyond any Viltrumite's parameters now. They hit the star's corona. Heat beyond imagining. Temperatures that vaporize matter. Both of them burn. Mark doesn't let go. Flies deeper. Into the photosphere, Conquest's skin blackens. Cracks. His scream is soundless in the plasma. Mark's skin burns too, but his smart atoms adapt. Learn. Start to resist. He flies deeper still, until they're in the star's outer convective zone, where matter breaks down, where nothing should survive. Mark's body is a ruin, charred, broken. But he's still conscious, still holding Conquest, still smiling. Conquest's struggles have stopped. The ancient warrior is dying. His body can't adapt fast enough. Mark's can. He flies out of the star, drags Conquest's burning form back into space. They emerge into vacuum, both of them smoking ruins. Mark's smart atoms work frantically. Skin regenerates, organs rebuild, eyes regrow. Conquest's healing is slower. 5,000 years old, his cells are efficient but not evolving. Mark waits, watches Conquest heal, waits until the ancient warrior's eyes open. You survived, Conquest rasps. Impossible. Your move, Mark says. They fight for another hour. But the outcome is inevitable now. Mark is getting stronger with every exchange. His smart atoms incorporating Conquest's techniques, his patterns, his centuries of experience. Conquest is just getting weaker. The end comes in an asteroid field. Conquest throws everything he has. A combination that's killed coalition champions, that's ended planetary rebellions. Mark takes it all, then returns it, harder, faster, better. His fist drives through Conquest's guard, connects with his sternum, cracks it. His knee breaks Conquest's femur. His elbow shatters Conquest's jaw. Conquest falls back, floats in space, blood everywhere. You've won, Conquest says quietly. Finish it. Mark grabs him, not to kill, to examine. Conquest is covered in scars. Millennia of battle etched into his flesh. Each one a story, each one a conquest. All these scars, Mark says, all these victories, and it meant nothing in the end. It meant I lived as a warrior should. No. Mark's grip tightens. It meant you were never strong enough. None of you were. He pulls. Conquest's head separates from his body. Mark holds it up, studies it. The ancient eyes stare back, already glazing, then tosses it aside, watches it tumble into the asteroid field. The hunger purrs. Satisfied, for now. A termath. Mark floats among the debris. Conquest's headless body drifts nearby. He feels nothing, no pride, no satisfaction, no sense of accomplishment. Just the hunger, already stirring, already demanding more. He boards Conquest's ship. The dreadnought is massive. Advanced, designed for a warrior who expected to live forever, the command center is pristine. No decoration, no comfort. Just function. Mark sits in the command chair. Conquest's blood still stains his hands. He pulls up the ship's database. Star charts. Empire movements. Intelligence on every Viltrumite warrior. His eyes lock on one file. Thrag, the Grand Regent, the strongest Viltrumite ever bred, never defeated. Born from the two most powerful warriors in the Empire's history. The final challenge. Mark's pulse quickens. The ship's communication array crackles. Incoming transmission. Empire frequency, he answers. A hologram appears. A Viltrumite Mark doesn't recognize. Older. Battle-scarred. Conquest's ship signature. But you're not Conquest. Conquest is dead, Mark says. I killed him. The hologram's eyes widen. You're the half-breed. Invincible. Tell Thrag I'm coming for him next. Thrag will destroy you. You killed a great warrior. But Thrag is... Mark cuts the transmission, doesn't care about the warning. He accesses the ship's navigation, sets course, not to his family, not to anyone who knew him before, to the Empire's capital, to Viltrum Prime, to Thrag. His hands are steady on the controls. Below, in the asteroid field, Conquest's body tumbles through space. The warrior who survived 5,000 years, who conquered 43 worlds. Dead at 19-year-old's hands, Mark doesn't look back, just engages the FTL drive. The ship jumps. Behind him, the Regulus sector is silent, empty except for corpses. Ahead, the galaxy spreads infinite. full of warriors, full of challenges, full of prey. Mark Grayson is gone. What remains is the thing Battle Beast created, the apex predator, the hunter, the curse made flesh. And somewhere in the depths of space, Thrag waits, unaware that his executioner is already coming. The hunger whispers, more, always more. Mark smiles. Always. Let us know what you'd like to see next. The end.